All right. Can you hear me? All right. Hell yeah. Yeah, it was. I think I was pushing my computer real hard. That tends to happen. I haven't reset my computer in like a week, dog. I got to show you the progress that I made on this. I'm about to blow these trees down real quick. Yeah, I'll be right back. You're a voxel. Hi, baby girl. Bye, baby girl. Yeah, man. So, dog, I've made a lot of fucking progress on this. Do you want to see what I've done so far? Hell yeah, man. I usually try to smoke off stream. I used to smoke on stream, but it's actually something I wanna probably start smoking a little less, honestly. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna I'm going to open up the main map. Server room. We're gonna boom. Yeah, no, not the server room, the conference room. So there's a lot of logic that needs to be added into the room. Um but here, I'll show you real quick. So I changed some things. I brought the ceiling down a little bit. This was supposed to start over here. This is going to be where you start. I'm going to turn this into like a fully contained kind of technical demo. And it's also going to be kind of like a showcase of how I'm going to actually make the gameplay once I start actually fleshing it out. Because right now I'm just trying to make sure all my systems and shit work. You got 4 ads. God damn. All right, I'll wait. That's fucking hilarious. My bad, cuz. Sometimes this light doesn't show up when I'm looking right at it. I wonder why. It's probably the placement of it. I'm gonna have to maybe make it a little farther back. Maybe make the computer bigger. Push it farther back. Damn, 4 ads is crazy. A lot of glitches, but that's fine. Right now, we're just making sure the game world works. See the geometry is coming in a little bit further than it's supposed to. Yo, welcome back, sir. Okay, so what I was saying is these sections that I made, these rooms that I made, I'm going to flesh this out into like kind of like a vertical slice demo-ish kind of thing. I'm actually gonna turn this to a full-blown mod, but I'm starting with the levels, and I'm gonna use that as an opportunity to learn how like the logic and everything works. And there's certain things I'm realizing that you have to modify the code in order to get to work properly. And so right now I just want to make sure the logic is there. And so first thing is gonna be horror based, right? So always run will be set to off. For whatever reason, I can't get that to turn off in the game. So I have to figure out how to do that. It's probably somewhere in the code. Here, hold on a second. So yeah, this is the first part. Essentially, I'll give you the inside scoop. There ain't really a whole bunch of people here. I have this concept that I'm making. I'm not gonna spoil the whole game, but essentially, I don't know how familiar you are with Quake 2, but I'm gonna kind of create like a like a almost like a parallel universe to the Quake world where the Strogg reach Earth and you are pretty much trying to survive this like invasion. And like you're not a soldier or anything like that. You're just like a dude. And so it's gonna be more like action horror, but it's gonna have like the pacing and whatnot of like Silent Hill and Resident Evil and whatnot. And so all of these lights are all real time. I got all the lighting and the shadows to work. So every shadow that you see is being rendered in real time. You can see my player character also is getting shadows. These squares on the floor, those are being rendered from the keyboard and the computer. So all of the lights are now real time. So I'll try to blow this shit down. I'm almost done. But I showed you that big old room that I had before, right? When like you go up to a door, the door opens, you go into the next room. Um, I had it set up like that before. What I ended up doing instead was just segmenting the levels out. And the reason why I decided to do that is because like the more dense um these levels are, um the more dense the levels are, the harder it gets to render a lot of the detail that I want to render. And so I've taken like kind of like I say Resident Evil and Silent Hill, but it's more like it's also akin to like the way modern horror games are paced. And so I'll show you. So you just notice it all. Yeah, it's subtle, but it's there. Like you notice it once shit starts going down. You kind of get used to like seeing all this shit the way it normally is, but you don't normally see a lot of the light dancing and stuff unless it's ray tracing. Like we got convinced that these are ray tracing features only, but game's been doing real time shadows for years. Like, I've been wanting like a Doom 3 kind of like RTX remaster, but I think something like this is a great middle ground, right? You're not familiar with Quake at all. Yeah, it's a movement FPS. Yeah, so I slowed it down. And let's see. And so essentially what'll happen is your character will have to get out the bunker. Normally Quake 2 is like a key hunt, but I'm gonna flip it and make it more of like logic puzzle based. And so there's gonna be like exploration and stuff. And so all these rooms are gonna have like little nuggets of things. And so the first thing maybe I would want to do is find a flashlight. And so this was the room I was just working on over here. But you can see the level loads in and now I'm in a separate spot. This is the admin room. I have to actually properly name it, but you can see it says admin room on it. It's bunker B2 admin room. Let's see. This is going to be a server room, which but remember this door opened before. I haven't programmed it in yet, so that was the next step. But this is a room here, and again, all of these lights are dynamic lights, which means they all cast shadows. And so you'll really see this stuff come to life when there's movement in the level. Is it always yes? Like the only way it wouldn't is if it's very deliberate, like maybe like a secret door or something like that. But yeah, it'll always transport you. And so this pacing is very akin to like you ever see like Puppet Combo games? Those indie horror games made by that developer Puppet Combo. He uses a lot of mechanics like this where you go up to a door and you go to the next room. And so yes, best indie horror. Yeah. And so I say Resident Evil and like Silent Hill, those are really old school examples. But new indie horror games, they piece this shit out. The reason why I'm piecing it out uh is because when these levels are small, you can just pack them with details. Shadows don't break. You keep performance high. You can keep memory leaks low. And so, anyway, there's nothing in this room yet. You can see my character is walking around very slowly because I have always run off, but you can hold a button. Shit. It doesn't save my settings for some reason. I have to figure that out. But we'll make run left trigger. And so now my character moves a little faster. He doesn't move as fast as stock Quake does. the normal movement speed has a value of 200 in this game. I turned the movement speed down to 70. And what I also did is I started multiplying the enemy health, and I'm gonna limit health or like your personal health and ammo. It's gonna be real hard to find stuff. You're gonna have to rely on these kind of punier weapons a lot to create tension, and there's gonna be less enemies in the room as well, so the firefights will be kind of tense. And so this room as well. Oh, another thing I want to show you. I don't know if you noticed, these doors are green. These lights are gonna be kind of like a visual indicator of the rooms you can go into. And so if you've unlocked a door and you've been able to go into it, the light will turn green. If you interact with it and it's locked, it'll turn red up until you unlock it. And that way you don't always have to reference the map. And so, and also, I'm also gonna like put triggers near these doors that'll tell you where you're going. And that way you can start getting like, you know, an idea of where you need to go. Even if you don't have a map available, everything will be very deliberately labeled. And that is very Resident Evil. It's like, what can I show the player that would be on the map without actually showing them the map? And then there's also a compass that comes with this engine, which I'm definitely gonna program, but I haven't figured out how much I'm gonna implement it. Anyway, so this room here, you see the lights green. All these shadows are dynamic, and there's an enemy up here as well. I made him pretty puny. That's not supposed to be that way. This next room will show you more like what the enemy encounter is going to be like. But all these lights here, let's see, are all dynamic. You see? So they cast real shadows. So this blue or this shadow that's right here that I'm shooting at, that shadow is being drawn by the same light that's causing my character to draw this shadow. And there's actually two light sources here. So there's probably, well, I don't think this one is reaching, but it's getting a shadow from this light here somewhere. I think maybe it's not strong enough. I have to make the radius a little higher. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely getting a shadow. It's just faded out. So it's getting a shadow from that light, and it's also getting a shadow from these blue light strips down here. And so, but yeah, everything's real time. So, and I also want to make it to where the enemies don't gib. They stay there so you know where you've been and like what's gone down and whatnot. But yeah, you can see all of these shadows are real. So you go into this room. This is the server room. So this is where I started doing a lot of the experimenting and stuff. These enemies are set to like, they have like an ambush flag, and they pretty much have to be alerted to your presence before they attack you. But once they attack, they aggro permanently. So if you accidentally aggro these guys and then you leave this room, you come back, they're still going to be chasing after you. They just can't leave the room. So, you know, kind of like Resident Evil zombies. But if they start shooting in like there's like crossfire, like if there's friendly fire, these niggas will start fighting each other. And so kind of the way the game will play, like one of the objectives I'll have set is like to get a flashlight because there'll be a dark room, right? So I don't have a flashlight right now. But I have one in this room somewhere. You just gotta find it. It's somewhere in the game world, but for you guys specifically, it's in this room. Now you know. And so again, I just gotta show it off because I'm real proud of these features. All of these guys are casting real lights, or casting real shadows. You see. This guy is being a dickhead, and this guy is supposed to be working. He is working technically, but I can sneak around him because he doesn't know I'm here. So like, it's still very video gamey, which I really like. But there are things to weigh over. Like I want the combat to be very deliberate. So I'm in here for the flashlight. I have full health, so I can afford a firefight. These health packs that are here, the health packs that are here are like small health packs. They give you like 10 health, and so it'll give it a more of a survival horror feel. But there's one there. That one doesn't really cost me anything so long as I don't aggro these enemies. But you see, there's 2 health packs up under this guy. Now the only way I'm getting these 2 health packs is if I start a fight. And so now I have to weigh this over now. Do I just get what I came here for and leave these guys to do their business? Or do I go for the reward? So I'm just gonna get the flashlight. And also just gotta rub it in again. I'm so proud of these features. All these lights are real. I had a spotlight back here, but I just didn't like how much light was filling the room. I think the shadows are very important. One thing about these enemies is they don't respond to the flashlight. In order for them to respond to the flashlight, I'll have to do some code. So that's fine. But now we have this. And so we can just leave this room and go about our business. But I'm gonna have more incentives to start a fight. Like probably put like a little like machine gun back there or something. But the only way you get these rewards is to start a fight. But with these enemies, if you do start a fight, again, my movement speed is on 70. That's less than half of what the movement speed normally is. So if I start a fight, these guys have double the health. These 2 guys have double the health. And that guy has 2.25 times his normal health. And so that's going to add a lot of tension to this fight. I'm going to start a fight. Now they're all pissed. And so, dude, hold on. I tried to like add some. What's the run button? There we go. I have to ask them. Oh, so now they're pissed. So I can leverage that. Let these guys fight each other, and I can like move around. Oh shit! Oh my god, this nigga is aggressive as fuck. Oh, dude, you're not gonna shoot your homie? These niggas are mean, dog. So I'm gonna. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm gonna grab this health. Let's see. And I'm gonna let these guys fight each other. And I'm only at 51 health. Holy god, these niggas are mean, bro. And now it's just quiet. And so now we got what we came here for. We have half the health that we had when we went into that room. And we got 2 of the 3 health packs that are in there. And so now there's tension. Do you risk your health and go for that last health pack? Or do you ride it out with the blaster? So we know that he killed that guy. We heard it as soon as we left. But sometimes you'll leave a room and come back and the fight will be over. A nigga will be dead. Oh, look at that. So his cone of vision is quite high. He doesn't respond to the flashlight, but I could sneak past him. Ah! Oh, shit. Fuck. So the nigga soft. Ah, duck, nigga. Duck. Ow, it hurts real bad. Woo! I went high pitch again? Really? So look at that. 15 health, bruh. So we killed all the enemies in the map. Oh, this nigga stink, bruh. So these enemies, when you kill them, they spawn flies. It's actually programmed to the game. But look how much tension is in this level now. And I'm playing with a controller, and so there is a lot of input errors. I'm not used to playing this game on controller. But I can't leverage a lot of the Quake shit I'm used to. I can't bunny hop around people because I move very slow. I have to use cover. Like, one of the things I notice as I do this firefight, there's just not enough places for my character to take cover on. And so I could like add like a table here or something, or like a file cabinet. And maybe I could also put like a clipboard or something around here just to give my character something to protect himself with. But that's a lot of tension, right? Oh, the flies disappeared. What do you think? So what's next? Once I get, I want to get the server room programmed in, and then I might put the secret armory in as well. But once I get that done, I'm gonna start putting in more game logic, and I'm gonna start adding in like
I don't know, just fleshing out the gameplay a little bit. And there's gonna have to be like a structure, like this game is a key hunt, but it doesn't have to be a key hunt. It's all, if you can use like a hint system properly and kind of like it's not just keys, right? Like a key can really be anything, but you can go to a computer and press a button on a computer, but the only way you get access to this computer is if you hit this trigger somewhere else. And then like a key, for instance, here I'll give you a scenario that I'm thinking of. So when we go down here, look how fast that loads. Now that it's all loaded in, it's really seamless. And so this room here, the reason why I didn't put a door on this, like, I'm gonna put a door on this because this is just leading to the server room. But there's like a secret room that it was like one of the first levels that I worked on, and it was too cool to delete, but I just didn't have a use for it, so I just dragged it out into the world. But I'm gonna use a door that looks like this right here. Um, that is gonna pretty much lead to the armory. It's gonna be like a secret, super high tech armory. But the way you're gonna have to be able to get in there, you're not just gonna have to find a key to open this door, right? It's gonna be like, I have to find a way to like interact with this computer in a way that will open like a tiny little secret, like little like keypad thing. It'll be like a door to a little keypad. And in order to use that keypad, you have to have the code to get in. But I'm gonna make that like a red, they say like red key, blue key, blah blah blah. But that's really just gonna be like an armory key. I'll give it like some name to make it seem less like a key. But it's data essentially. Um, I have to be able to find a way to even get access to the key card thing. And so that's pretty much one step to logic puzzle. But the other thing is you're gonna have to have like the key to open it. Um, and you're gonna have to explore. It's not simply going to just be go find the key. Um, it's gonna be like I just have to kind of think through it. That's why I want to like make this vertical slice because this whole game, when I flesh it out, is gonna take place either in a big house or a mansion. And so all of these rooms that I'm going into, um, this same logic is gonna apply, but in like a mansion. And so it's that's where like the Resident Evil influence comes in. And you're gonna have to effectively find your way down to this place. And so it's called Bunker B1 because it's not the basement, but it's below the basement. You know what I'm saying? And so the level right above that will be probably B1 and then floor 1 and then floor 2. Um but you're going to have to fight your way essentially through your house to get into this bunker. And you're going to have to do these things around your house to get access to it. And because Strogg have invaded and you're not a soldier. You're just like a guy with a mansion and a bunker. So, just do with that context what you will. But that's the idea. So, um that's the logic I want to flow in. And eventually, like this area was made to be a gameplay area in like the final product, and so it will more than likely end up getting repurposed once I'm further into the build. But there's so much. Like I'm actually learning this stuff on the fly, and so I'm learning like best practices for these tools, and I'm learning the tools and how to use them. But I'm also, I have to build my own personal game logic, and like the way these doors work and the triggers work requires like specific language. And if you have like good, you know, file naming schemes or naming schemes, then you can track all this stuff. Um, but also like with the shadow usage and like there's so many small things. And so process is important. And I think the last thing I want to do is just jump in and start stitching shit together. Like I've been very deliberate about these rooms. Um, and for like the last 2 days, I've been like, I want to start working on the mansion. I want to start working on the mansion. But the more I work on this, the more there's shit to do. But I can use this to kind of build up a little bit of press for the final mod because I'm gonna have to learn how to code and shit. And who knows, maybe if this little slice of life turns out good enough, I can find somebody that can maybe help me code some of this stuff. Because I don't need a whole lot. A lot of the systems are in here. I need modifications. Like, um, I want the enemies to be ungibbable, so like you just always know where you are. Um, you don't have to worry. Oop, wrong door. See, nigga getting lost. Um, you don't have to worry about where you've been because you know the enemies, the dead enemies, essentially will tell you. Um, but I don't want them to give. If I shoot this nigga, then he explodes. The body parts disappear. And so I either need code that will make the gib stay forever or make these guys ungibbable. Um, I need code that will make my characters jump height way smaller. I want a stamina system. Um, I want this gun to shoot faster, so like the guns will be rebalanced. Um, and those are kind of some of the main things that I want. Oh, and I have to figure out this always run situation because the commands don't seem to work. I have to like put in like um I have to put in like cheats and like variables in the command line to get this shit to start the way that I want. But I don't think that makes for a good user experience. So anyway, yeah, like once I get this whole thing kind of like fleshed out, I will have learned enough to tackle the full game fully, and this will be enough to like sell. You know what I mean? Not sell, but like sell on the final version. You know, like get people to go through this and like even the couple times I played through this, like this shit's played out differently. And so, but what I want to do next is I have to get the server room attached, and so the server room will be through here. You see, I'm getting errors. I don't know why. I have to figure that out. This will be the server room, and then from there I have to add the secret armory, and then um, I'm not gonna put the logic there, you know, past what I have here. And then once I have that done, my next thing is to add. I need like a separate path, like I need this to branch back that way into that distance, and I need like a little like cove area, um, and that will allow the player to be able to navigate around this guy while he's patrolling without alerting him, because I want stealth to be a part of the game as well. And so there's not really like a real like the the shitty part about stealth and failing stealth is that it's permanent ish. You know what I'm saying? Like the enemies, like I guess you can leave these rooms long enough for them to forget about you, so that's good to know. But it benefits you to not aggro these guys because these firefights are quite dangerous. And so in order to enable that behavior, I have to create a level that can, that will allow the player to do those things. Um, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's it, dog. That's what I have so far. What do you think? I'm very proud of these monitors. This monitor, I don't know if I told you this before. I'd be repeating myself a lot. This shit is just exciting. But this is like 8 or 9 different brushes. This monitor is like there's a brush on the back, like on the back face of it, and on the inside of it, there's like a light brush that emits a light, or just makes that little texture glow. But then there's 2 transparent brushes in front of that as well. And I just put like a computer texture on it, so it gives it like some depth, you know. So like you can see, you're supposed to be able to see that these kind of, it's supposed to like have like that weird LCD kind of double effect or whatever. But then I also put a light source in front of it, so it's like the actual glowing computer monitor, which you can see over here. I'm very proud of this stuff. So okay, yeah. So that's what I have. So the next thing we need to do is stitch together the hell was that? Hold on a second. Oh, Bay's up. Hi, Beb. So next thing we need to do is put the server room on. kind of stick to the more simple shit first. You know what I mean? I gotta put some more music on so I can focus. What should I listen to? You know what? Don't even worry about it. I already know what I'm gonna listen to. This is insane. Was looking back and forth between your rank match. Really? Yo, I'm glad you feel that way. I'm very proud of it. And it's kind of spooky, man. It's actually I was able to create the effect that I wanted, and that's what I'm most proud of. Okay, so the server room. Now that there's less shit in here, I can actually like I can pack this room out a little more. So I'm gonna see if I can break it. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I'm making really good progress. I'm proud. I'm proud of where it is so far. I'm genuinely happy with what I've been able to accomplish so far. And you know, like I've made shit in the past, but like I've just been craving making something. Um and you know, I have this habit of like leaning on other people to make something cool. Hmm? Oh yeah, it's all yours, baby. I love you. Thank you, baby. It's coming along well. Um, I forgot what I was saying, but it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. Server room. I'm gonna close this conference room. So my shit was crashing and shit earlier. Like my whole computer was crashing, and I think it's because I had like mad trench broom instances open. And I only have 16 gigabytes in my computer, and so you know these days you gotta make that shit work. Okay, so making these rooms is kind of a bitch because once you start tweaking shit and shit start breaking, man, it can make things very complicated. Let's see. So this is the server room. I had already started making it before. I'm gonna make this that flat texture I've been using. Flat one. Yeah. I don't want to go too far into theming things right now because the most important part is making sure it works. And so my first thing is polishing. I'm gonna polish the level up a little bit. Delete things I don't need. So all this shit I need. I'm gonna bring this in first. Don't need this. So this level, I'm really proud of this level. 'Cause I just had this idea at first, man. And I just wanted to see how far I can go with it. And I just it got the first thing was just getting the ideas out of my head. And then once I started actually fleshing it out, it started turning into a real concept. Like I already knew kind of what I wanted to do with it, you know. But like I just had these like all the shit that I made, I kind of literally had that shit pictured in my head. And I'd get that shit out and then see if I can create the game world I'm trying to make in my head around it. And a lot of it worked. But then it just started kind of getting super serial. So what I'm gonna do. So the reason why it's good to polish. Look at this. Let's turn the grid off. So look how nice these planes look on the left as opposed to the right. So these are nice contained squares. There's no leaks, and I don't get lost when I look at it on any plane. I know what I'm looking at. Let's see. I'm gonna move this down just a tad. I know exactly what I'm looking at, no matter what plane I'm on. I know exactly what the entity is. This one is a fucking mess. And that's another reason why I started actually sectioning shit out. And like, it's the details are important, man. The details are important. And so, anyway, let's clean this up first. And then I want to, you know what? Let's replace the door first. So this is the admin room. Let's go over here. This is the door that I need. This one here. I'm gonna grab this. Oh, that's not right. I'm gonna cut. Go into there. I'm gonna paste in place. I'm gonna exit, and now I can grab this whole thing. There we go. I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna go over here. Paste here. Oh, okay. Interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I like that. Yeah, Harong Helicarry's on 8. 100%. The only person that will ever disagree with you on that is Harong. Harong players. They the only ones. Everybody else will 100% be like, yeah, he's right. He's busted. Harong is fucking busted as shit in the game. I think most of the characters, though, that lean that heavy on offense are kind of busted. Wait a second. What's going on here? Oh, it's all contained. Right. Wait, is it, though? Yeah, it is, because the door is not actually installed yet. So, let's see. Yeah, Harong's a fucking pain in the ass, but the trick with Harong is you just have to be smarter than the Harong player. The only way you can guarantee being smarter than the Harong player is knowing the matchup. So that's just one of them guys you gotta fucking take into the lab. But Harong players, like the thing with Harong is if you know what a Harong player is gonna do and you can find the options to like counter it, then Harong becomes a little bit more palatable. But I still feel like he's a little bit he's too strong. It's too hard to get away from his offense. Like you have to guess right on way too many occasions. Like even if you know what to do on the option that you pick, he has just so many things that cover so many bases. Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. What, did you catch a demotion? That shit happens, cuz. Okay. I'm gonna delete this. So I just be deleting shit once I know how I want my room to be laid out. I'm gonna delete this. And I'm gonna delete this. And I'm gonna delete this. cool. So I'm gonna make my room's boundaries based off of this door. And so, and then this section here, I'm gonna keep separate because this is coolant. This server room, the entire floor is liquid cooling for the servers. Isn't that cool? Let's see. So the first thing I think I want to do is I probably need to make my level boundaries, but maybe what I'll do is start with the coolant portion first instead of the geometry up top. Let's see. The difficulty is see all this noise. This is the problem. Is that all this noise along the line, along the outside? You can't tell what's what. I'm gonna move this out the way. I'll deal with that in a bit. So I think maybe no, this can't define the edge of the map. Right, I remember. Those are the outlines. So right outside of these little fixtures here, that's where the level boundaries are. So we know that part. Let's see. It looks like there's what is this? What is this? Oh. Wait. What? See, and this is why another good reason to like go piece by piece because there's so much optimization that needs to happen, bro. Like, what the hell? What's happening? So, there's 2 floors. Why do I need 2 floors? We'll delete this bottom one. And look, we still have a floor. And the one that's important is the one with this texture on it. Okay. I'm gonna move this in a little bit. What is that? What is that? Wow, there's so much junk. What is that? That's the floor. Okay, so the water the water is causing a Z fight. I think the water is not causing a Z fight. Oh, the fixture was causing a Z fight. Okay, well that makes sense. That makes sense. What is this? Yep, okay. Oh, there's lights there. Door's gotta go. Hmm. Let's just go ahead and delete that. Duplicate. Rotates. I think that's good. Wow. quite complex, man. There we go. There we go. Okay. So the fixtures are set up, I think. Yep. Next, let's make sure the pool is not a pool, but you know, cool. Looks. I think that's mostly good. There we go. Another Z fight. All right. Beautiful. Let's save it. Ha! Man, that game takes a lot of patience, man. Don't give up on it, man. I'm telling you, it's difficult, but it's different. You know, you just gotta tap into a different mindset with that motherfucker, man. Maybe try out Battle Arena. Battle Arena is really cool. Or Fight Lounge. That's fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, the game got some problems, man. It does. It does. Okay, what's going on here? Ah. Alright, what is this? Oh, it's the ceiling. It's the ceiling. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna delete the ceiling. I think the most important part is the walls. So this is what my level looks like. And look how neat this looks. Ignore this and ignore this. Look how neat this section of gameplay is. Like the map is. Everything is very deliberately placed, very organized. It's not very messy. And that will save on performance. And these servers, I'm going to get rid of at least 6 of these light sources in here. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to place our door. Let's see. There we go. Less light is always better. You're right. I'm glad you said that because there's a lot of light I have to get rid of in this room. This little thing right here, I love the effect that it makes, and I don't have the balls to delete it yet. I think I'm probably gonna put it in the secret armory room. I'll probably pour light into that room. But this room is gonna be I want this room to be memorable. I think it's like come 3 times like that. maybe I should delete this. That's one less light. Cool. So what I'll do, I think, so I'm going to extrude this. Or like this. And then we'll drag it down. We'll drag it all the way down to the coolant. Uh-oh. The door needs to come down. Man, the extra time spent optimizing is just essential. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Yeah, we'll take this. That's fine. I'm not going to overthink it. Did I already duplicate it? I did. So we got to make sure we're not... Yep, see? There's a little opening there. We got to fix that. Boom. We'll go ahead and make this a little taller. We're going to take this bottom floor and we're going to duplicate it. And then we're going to drag it up. There we go. Cool. So the room's starting to close up. That's good. Beautiful. Hmm? What is that? Is that the ceiling? It's the ceiling. Okay. Well, what about this? There's still like, what is that? It's the water, I bet. Yep, it's the water. Oops. It's not the water. What is that causing that? It's the floor. There we go. Yeah, the floor just needs to cover the whole base. I think it's just easier that way. Cool. So now we have our level bounds. I'm going to take this. Okay. Are we closed in? Almost. Oops, hold on. Okay, cool. So we have our server room. Put this where it needs to go. Put this in the corner. There. And then make sure it's kind of centered-ish. Probably could be more like this. Cool. So now the next thing we need to do, we need to add a trigger brush. Okay, so we're gonna call this a brush entity trigger multiple, and we're gonna give it a trigger face. There. And then we're going to make a change level entity. I'm gonna put that in front of the door. So this, here we go. Okay. So this target change level, the way this is gonna work, it is going to go to, the map is gonna go to bunker b2 underscore admin room, and it's going to target bunker b2 admin room start 2. That's the second spawn point in there. And I'm also going to give it a target name. I want to call it bunker b2 admin room enter. And there's only one door in here, so it doesn't need any like numbers. So that's the target name and the map. And then with this, I'm going to tell this trigger to target bunker b2 admin room enter. And so now I have my arrow. And so the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to add info player start. I'm going to rotate him a little bit. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So this guy, I'm going to give him a class name. No, sorry. I'm going to give him a target name. And his name is going to be bunker b2 server room start. And there's only one spawn point in here for the player character. And so it does not need any numerical values. So first thing I want to do is compile and see if the level's broken. Oh, finish with no errors. Fire. I'm nasty. So, are you self-taught in this program? Yes, I am. I just started learning it like a week ago. But it's not the first time I've dabbled in level editing for Quake 2. Like, I tried it, I mean, when I was like 12. And I remember, kind of giving up. But, I take in information from this world a lot. So, but this is the first time I've done it in earnest. Yeah. Let's see. I've been reading and listening to so much tutorial information, dog. Like, I've been absorbing a fuck ton of information. There we go. That's what I want to do. And there's a lot of trial and error. Like when you get to trial and error shit, you get to when you realize where you make your mistakes, it's easier to learn from them. Okay, cool. So now we have a trigger. No, this is a brush. It's just a regular brush. So I'm gonna turn it to a brush entity trigger multiple. What's this called? This app is called Trench Broom, and I think any app or any game that uses like like Source Engine games, tech Engine games. I think this map editor works for those, but I could be mistaken. Okay, so I've got my trigger. It is a trigger multiple. I'm going to give this a trig face. Why are you not trig facing? No text. Very strange. I think something's broken. I'm gonna save. Oh, my dumbass. Hold on a second. I'm not dumb. I shouldn't talk about myself like that. But that is a pretty dumb. That's a gaff. All right, I was using the wrong window. I did that earlier. I had to be nicer to myself. Okay. Trig. There we go. I don't have to restart. Okay. So cool. We have a trigger multiple, and it's a trig. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a change level entity. Like so. And now that I have this, you want to make a 3D fighting game so bad. Hey, man, no better time than now. You can make them shits in free engines. I'm sure there's like template packs you can use and shit to get you started. It's a reverse engineer. All right, this change level is going to go to bunker B2 server room, and it's going to spawn into. I'll put BR. Hold on, B2 underscore server underscore room $sign bunker B2 underscore server underscore room underscore start. So that's the map, and then the target name is going to be bunker B2 underscore server room underscore enter. That's the target name. And so I'm going to have this trigger point, or this trigger multiple. I'm going to have it target the change level entity. And then, last but not least, I'm going to add one more player spawn. I'm going to set him here. I'm going to have him rotated a little bit. And then this guy is going to have a target name. And its target name is going to be bunker B2 admin room start 2. And so the reason why I call it start 2 is because when you're in the server room and you hit this trigger, the target change level entity is going to take me to the admin room and the start room to player start entity. Okay. So let's try. Oh, we got an error code. Hold on. Oh, I know what it is. It's these lights, I bet. Yep, it's these lights. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna pull these lights in just to see what happens. It's probably gonna break the shit out of this room. Uh-oh. I did it again. Get out of here. This room is gonna look pretty cool, though. You wonder if the Tekken 7 code or something is public. Hell no! There's nothing about Tekken 7's code that is public, sir. Sorry. It'd have to be something else, like a... Yeah, man. I appreciate it, but... Nah, them niggas would never. Let's see. Any 3D fighter I've used a bit. Yeah, I think anyone will work. Compile map. There we go. Damn, I'm getting better at this. Okay, I'm kind of excited to see how this room looks, but it might be really broken because of all those lights. Oh, yep. So it's oh, so it is very broken because there's too many lights. But look, look. No, that's a Z fight. Okay, there's a difference between the Z fights and the shadows breaking. That effect means there's too many lights in the room. This effect means the light source is too close to the wall. See that right there? That's a Z fight between the light and the actual wall. This shit right here, there's too many lights in the room. So there's light sources in between all of these. Those are Z fights. And there's light there, light there, light there, and then double for this. I'm gonna take those out. You see, we're getting shadows everywhere. Wow. Okay. 100% on the right track. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a lot of these servers. I'm gonna take one server off of each of these rows, and I'm gonna take these middle lights out. And you see those lines that we were seeing at the lighting was because of this. I'm gonna move these out a little bit. There we go. Cool. So we have that, and then we're just gonna duplicate it. We're gonna take this whole thing, we're gonna delete the whole thing. And then we're gonna duplicate this. So that should take a lot of load off of this level. Yeah, see? Visual glitches are all gone now. And we get our shadows. I'm gonna make that a little less tiled. But yeah, it's pretty good, right? Hmm. Damn, this looks real good. Wow. It's beautiful. Part of me wants to take this whole, like this strip and line this whole top wall with it. This shit looks more peaceful to me than scary. Yeah, it'll tone down. It's peaceful right now because there's no tension in the room. I can change that real fast. But there's a lot of light in the room. Another thing I can do to add a little bit of like weight to the room is move this light down so it casts shadows up. You know? I could just delete it. I like the blue a lot. I think when you start adding geometry to the room, I think it can make things interesting. Here, because now I'm curious. Let's see. Um, so the cool part about these is like having these like having this shit here can turn this into a combat arena really really fast. So like you could like do something like let me think. What could we add to the room? Oops. Oops. What the hell? Go ahead and save. Um, and also the thing is the room is very, very small. But this room is gonna be one of those rooms that's like locked down, you know? And so there's kind of a reason for it to look like this, theoretically. Like this is an important room. This room's gonna be locked pretty tight. I have to figure out what's going on with that. Oh, and you went to the wrong spawn point, you motherfucker. So that room, um, is not gonna be behind a secret door like this is, but you're gonna have to find something to interact with this computer to unlock access to this room. So this room's gonna be important. Like, in fact, this room could have the key that you need, or like the thing, whatever it is that you need to get into the secret armory that I have to put in. It's probably be like right here. But and it might even just be like a thing on that computer. So like you go in here, oh, this trigger's not set up. Damn, I unlocked myself in that other room. You go in there, and you probably have to interact with that computer. So what I'll probably do is put that blue strip behind the computer to call attention to it, and then drown the rest of the room in shadow. So let's see. Oh, I don't think I saved the admin room, and that's why it didn't work. Let's compile. What the fuck did I do? Oh, I must have rendered it full, right? Damn, it does look really nice. Yeah, this room is fancy and important. This is where kind of terrible shit happens. You know, it's like, oh, there's a Z fight. Gotta fix that. No spoilers, but like, what I'll say is there's no good reason for a normal person to have access to this type of shit. That's kind of the point. But so there's a lot of lights over here. I think one of the things I can do is take these spotlights out. No, I kind of like the spotlights. The spotlights aren't the problem. These lights are too bright. Or I can get rid of this. But no, we'll need this. I think maybe this can get put on a different wall. Or we might just get rid of it, honestly. I think that'll go cool. This will go really well in the other room I'm building, the fancy bright room. Okay, that does give me an idea. What if we delete it? Let's see how the room looks. It'll definitely give me a lot of wiggle room to do more shit with the map. Because those lights are pretty taxing. I actually think it looks worse. But it just needs to be replaced with something. There's not any light back here, but maybe that's a good thing. I think these wall textures need to be a little bit different. Hmm. You know what? I know what I'll do. Watch this. So, one thing I've been kind of falling back on is like creating like obstacles for the player. That's one thing I learned when I started researching this stuff. Is like if you put obstacles between the player and their objective, you can actually make levels very interesting very quickly. So like what is going on here? Jeez. I'm gonna move this back here. I'm gonna rotate it. Like so, you know what I'm saying? And then move this over a little bit more. Oops. And so the cool thing about this light, I could do some shit like, let me see, I'm gonna use this blue light as a means to call the player over. But I'm gonna like hide enemies back here. So maybe we could like get rid of these three. Move this in. What is that? Why are there two strips? What is that? What was the other thing? What? See, I'm glad I went back and started optimizing a lot of this stuff. There's so much useless geometry in here. There we go. There we go. Move this down a little bit. I'm gonna copy this. Oh no, we're gonna duplicate it. There we go. There we go. So I'm gonna save that. There we go. Compile. Did I save it? Compile. Let's see what we got so far. No physical glitches, or no glitches. There must be a. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. Something's wrong though. What I could probably do is put those lights on the floor up under this. That is a lot of light, isn't it? It looks cool. Other than that, I don't know what's going on with that. I think it's just probably not touching the How do you jump? Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah. That's why it's not completely up there. Okay. Easy problem to fix. That poured a lot of light into that room and it made it look weird. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, that's the problem. All right. So this should fix a lot of problems with that. Nope, it didn't at all. Maybe it's because this brush is supposed to be told to cast a shadow or something. I don't know. Sometimes these things have like a shadow setting. This one doesn't. What about this? No, it doesn't. I wonder why it's doing that then. I'm gonna delete this light. And I'm gonna delete this light. And okay. The light spilling over into that ceiling is kind of making me mad. It's not supposed to do that. It's not enough. Yeah, there's too much light in this room. I don't like it. What is that? You're not supposed to do that. Maybe the radius on it is too high. What I wanted was for this room to like call to the player a little bit. Here, hold on. Let me try something else. There we go. Let's try that. And then you know what I'll do. Okay, cool. So jazz this room a little bit. Hopefully with the lights on the floor, it gives it a completely different feel. I'd rather it light up the coolant than the ceiling. See, to me, that makes a lot more sense. And then now I kind of feel like some of these floor lights can go. See, I feel like that makes a lot more sense to have it bleeding in from the bottom. Ooh, it's not closed. Maybe that's why it's giving more light than it's supposed to. I legitimately might take some of the lights out. I think you might be right about there being too much light in this room. Ooh. Oh no, that's way better. Are we getting shadows? We're not getting shadows. Something happened. We're not getting shadows. I think the spotlights, we could probably get rid of the spotlights. Or maybe just not use so many. But man, this level really lights itself well, doesn't it? Okay. I think there's values on all these that are fucked up. Yep. That's why I'm not getting shadows. That explains a lot. So the light fall off distance, we're gonna call it 1,000. Start distance 500. Shadow radius is good. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Actually, you know what? We're gonna duplicate. And then these lights too. 1,500. No, 500. And then we're gonna make the shadow light radius 100 instead of 125. I don't think it needs to be that bright. And then let's see the computer. 1,000. And we're gonna call this 500. And this radius, we're gonna maybe make that 150. And then these. 1,000. 700. 700 is probably the better one rather than 500. Seven hundred. 700. Like if you have these numbers set too conservatively, you won't get shadows unless you're like right on top of it, on top of the lights, and I don't like that either. So we'll do 700. So now we should have our shadows back. And it's taking a little bit longer to compile. So that's a good sign. Yeah, I think it worked. It worked on some of these. Didn't work on these. So it worked on this light. And it looks like there's a geometry issue. Uh-oh. I think this is rendered full bright. I gotta fix that. It's coming along though, but I'm not getting my shadows, and that really hurts this room. Hmm. Hmm. I actually don't know how to fix that. Maybe there's too many lights in the scene. That's usually a sign of there being too many lights in the scene. Either they start to glitch, the shadows start to glitch, or they just stop rendering completely. Well, this was rendering shadows, but then it stopped, didn't it? See, I can kind of see. That's a player shadow. Where's that casting from? That is so strange. We're not getting shadows at all in this room. There has to be a reason. Hmm. I could probably make these numbers smaller. Man, that sucks. What would cause that, I wonder? What if I delete this? Let's see what happens. I'll delete that light fixture if I get my shadows back. But no, there's no shadows. It's gotta be the room. It's something about the room. I don't think it's because there was too many lights in there. I kind of want to see how this stuff looks when it has like full blown renders. See, it looks a little better now that the high resolution shit is in there. This is bothering the shit out of me. You think it's the you think it's the water? Man, 'cause we lost a lot of information. See, my shadows work here. Why? Oh, Jesus. Oh, that guy's not strong. I gotta fix that. Dude, that guy fucking scares me every time. This shit, it keeps scaring me, man. If it can scare me, I know it can scare other people, so that's good. And I'm trying to make the level design more thoughtful. Um, I don't want monster closets. What was I gonna get in here? Oh yeah, I was gonna make that. Dude, this thing been scaring me back and forth, dog. That's a good sign. Health multiplier, 400. No, woo, no, 4 times health multiplier. And then I need to take. I gotta take this value. Man, I really, really, really want to figure out why are there 2 dynamic lights. Oh, that's different planes. Man, I'll be on some shit sometimes. That's the best fucking way. The creators are. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Like I feel like if this shit can spook me a little bit, then it's got potential. And it's not necessarily that I'm like the most conditioned for horror, but you know, still sentiments there. I really, really want to know why I'm not getting my shadows, man. Yeah, this game has scared me multiple times. Ain't nobody making maps like this, man. I might have to come back to the server room. I told myself that I was gonna stitch everything together and then start expanding things out, and then I was gonna work on bug fixes. I was talking shit about that approach the other day, but I honestly feel like it's the best way. I'm gonna do a full render of this room. Because there's still so much, like, there's a lot of bugs that I have to iron out. Like, there's like a target trigger bug that I'm getting when I switch some of the rooms. And it doesn't seem to impact the gameplay, but it doesn't look good. You know, it looks terrible. Um, the enemies are performing the way that I want. Um, I think once all the levels are stitched together and the doors work, I can start adding in logic. But I'm not sure if I should add logic first or build out more gameplay scenarios first. I'm gonna do high res renders of all of these. So it actually should look a little bit better. So I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close these just so I know which ones I rendered. This is my admin room. I think I just did a high res compile of this. I'm gonna close this, and then the test room, which is not really a test room now. I think that's gonna be just like a workers' quarters. I'm gonna have to rename a bunch of things, but I'm gonna compile this into a full render, And this one might take a little bit of time. I think those are the only levels I have mapped so far. So let me think. It's the hallway, it's the workers' quarters, the conference room, the server room, and the admin room. So I have to re-render the conference room. And that's the starting place anyway. And this shit it renders so much faster now. Because the rooms are smaller. But once I start packing in geometry and shit, that's gonna tank. This is the first time I've done full renders of all of the stages connected. This room's got a lot of indirect lighting. And I'm thinking through like a gameplay loop. Cool. Let's see what we got. So one of my big issues right now is my server room is not casting shadows. And it might be because of that goddamn window. Oh, and I forgot. Oh, wow. These renders look a lot better. I forgot to put the green light on my other doors. That's fine. Both of these are supposed to have green lights. I need to go back and fix that. We're already this close. I need to get a proper representation of what track I'm on. So I'm just gonna do this real quick. So let's see. This is the player start area. And this is a green key. I want to grab this, copy. We're gonna go over to this room here. And now this one can also be green. We're gonna save it. We're gonna compile it. And then next, we'll go to B1 bunker test. I think this one has a green light. Yeah, this one has a green light. We're not super worried about this one. I shouldn't have loaded this while I was compiling the map. Yeah, whatever. This one has a green light. The workers' quarters has a green light. The admin rooms don't. So what we'll do is we'll load up. Why not close that? Admin room. Oh, this doesn't have a light on it. Good to know. You got the realest and illest killers tied up in a knot. There we go. Okay. So this needs to be a green light. And I know we were saying that we don't need so many lights, but I'm gonna, just for continuity's sake, I'm actually gonna make this light not so intense. I'm gonna make the shadow radius for this like 125. We'll call this 1000. We'll call this 500 because this room's quite small. Oops. What all them zippers? Oh, I made 2 of them on accident. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Cool. I think that's good. So these both have green lights, right? Cool. So we can go ahead and compile that. Oop. I don't know why I keep defaulting to that one. Cool. And then we can close this one. And then we have to go. We have to go to the. Oh shit. We have to go to the server room. And then. This light right here. We'll bring that down. Okay. We've got green lights. I'm gonna compile. So I think we're ready for another playtest. Wow. It actually has a pretty profound effect on the atmosphere of the game. When this light is red or green, I think that's some really cool like language. Okay, so I want to see if these lights are working. Look at these rooms. It might be a little bit too much light in here. Maybe I'll take one of these monitors out. Or maybe I'll take this out and replace it with like I'm probably gonna take this out and replace it with maybe like a little like admin corner that's like locked, you know? Like a little like clerk's window or something. So you go in here, and unfortunately we're still not getting lights. We should be seeing lights getting painted everywhere. We're not. Um we don't have our flashlight yet. And that button is supposed to be run. There we go. Yeah, so this room still unfortunately is not quite working. And it might look some things cast shadows. You see that? You know what it is? I bet you any amount of money it's these transparent surfaces. I thought I got it to work before. Okay. Anyway, so this room works. We gotta figure out the that whatever that is. I feel like the different loading zones make the game feel faster, like or bigger. Cool. The shadows still work here. We about to get into a big fight. Oh shit! These niggas get to running at you. I think this guy's supposed to have a 5x multiplier. Look at this. The green light is my favorite so far. Oh, okay, that's fine. Oof. This room is spooky, right? I might take this server out. I actually might put some of these server racks in the server room. Like the fancy ones. On the back is fluorescent lights. But I actually think, now that I'm thinking about it, it makes more sense to have these on the front of that. And then that's like the back. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here because y'all tripping. Sorry, brother. They ain't here tripping. Here, hold on. Shit, nigga. God, I got a funnel. Oh, I done trapped myself. This is not good. Look at these ignorant motherfuckers. I'm gonna use this to my advantage. Damn! Damn! Oh! Run! Ow, ow, ow. That's super fucking entertaining. Dude, they started fighting and I went and snuck around and got health and then left. That's a gameplay loop. That's the best. Oh, you already said that. I thought you said something. Let's see if they calm down. There might be one more health pack that I can get. Ah! Shit. That's like your homie softened you up. Oh god, this nigga's running at me. Oh my fucking god, bruh. Please. Oh, I shot the nigga head off! What the fuck? That was a battle to the death. And these are like the first enemies you see in the first 10 seconds of Quake. They're supposed to be wimps. Now they're like super scary. Damn. I got this guy. I really like where this is headed. Look at how good the lighting looks. Cool. So yeah, this needs gameplay now. That's where we are. I think there's one more level I haven't shown you. There's one level that I've just kind of not been doing anything with, but now I have a fucking place for it. This might be the last thing I do for the moment before I take a break or something. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of my day. I'm having a blast with this though, man. Okay. So I'm gonna compile this map. So remember, this is what we had before. I think I showed you this. So this is the original. Um, you see the shadows don't work. I always just gotta call out the shadows. But the big difference is these rooms all link up now. So this is my approach before. This was the server room before. Some of the lights work, some of them don't. Yeah, some of these lights work, some don't. I have to figure out why the shadows are not working in this room anymore. But look, these ones don't work. Very strange. It must be the actual entities, whatever I have them set to. But yeah. So then you used to just be able to go to each of these areas. But I sectioned them out. I think it's paced a little better. I don't want people to be rushing through the map. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and I made this hallway smaller because that grunt kept getting stuck right here, and I couldn't figure out why. Now he actually chases you down. And then when you go into this room, look, the shadows completely break. Did you see how that happened? All the shadows just break. What was that noise? Yeah. So yeah, that was my last straw when that happened. And so it's a lot easier to manage the visual information um with everything sectioned off. But there's a room that you can't access from here because I broke it off, but I'll show you it. This room right here. This is the last room. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this room yet, but I already built it out, and so I'm gonna keep it. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to my conference room. Okay, so let's figure out where we're gonna put that room. I'm thinking like behind him, like right here. That's a big fucking trigger. All right, I'm gonna take this texture from over here. What? This should be a function door anyway. I have to fix that. Oh, there's a fucking door back there. I thought there was. I remember what happened. Oh, this room needs some love. Okay. And so this area right here. When that window roll down and that AK come out, you can squeeze a little handgun until you run out. The machine gun shell's gonna tell you, back up. Whoa. What the? Why would you do that? I do what I gotta do. I don't care if I get caught. Okay. Cool. Look at that. It's gone. Let's see. So I'm gonna make a new trigger. Oh, actually, wait. I need to save that room. Let me save my conference room real quick. And then I need to go to my bunker map. Nigga, and delete everything. All this shit gotta go. Cool. So this now, this is the part that I worked on. Oh, these don't even have dynamic lights yet. Finna run rap. Dr. Dre got the recipe. Okay. So, oh. Save, and then redelete everything, and then we're gonna make a new copy, and we're gonna call this bunker B2 armory. So this is gonna be like a secret reward room, I think. Cool. Right. So let's go ahead and put this down. So I'm gonna make a trigger. All right. We're gonna call this brush entity a trigger multiple, and then we're gonna give it a trigger face, and then we're going to make a change level entity. Put this next to it, and then we are going to we're gonna make this target the map bunker B2 armory, and it's going to target the bunker B2 armory start. And the target name is going to be bunker B2 armory enter. There's only going to be one way in. And then last but not least, oh, now I have to tell the trigger to target that one. So bunker B2 armory enter. Like so. So now these are linked. Armory enter. Why are these linked? Why is this linked to everything? Hallway B2 enter. B2. Target name bunker B2 armory enter. Okay, I think that's right, man. And then we're gonna put another player start. We're gonna rotate this one. And we're going to give this a target name. And we're gonna call this bunker B2 conference room start 3. The reason why we're calling this start 3 is because it is the third spawn point in the room. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that. and I'm gonna compile this as a fast render. And then now while that is going, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna add a door. I'm just gonna take this whole fixture. Okay. We just want to get this working. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm gonna move this down. Move this over. Move this over. I'm gonna delete this. What's that weird texture? Uh, is that closed? I can't tell. I think it is. Okay. Okay. So that's pretty basic. So let's just set up our triggers real quick. A lot of Z fighting. This is gonna require a lot of refining, but it's okay. I just want to make sure it works. All right, let's go ahead and set up our brushes real quick. Okay, we're gonna call this trigger multiple. And we're gonna call this trigger. And then, do I have a door there? I think so. I wanna make a change level. And our change level is going to go to bunker B2 conference room, and is going to reference bunker B2 conference room start 3. And then we're gonna null end unit immediate leave. And then we're gonna give it a target name, and it's gonna be bunker B2 armory. No, conference room start 3. And then we're going to put a player. Player start. We're gonna rotate him. And we're gonna call him, we're gonna give him a target name. And we're gonna call him bunker B2 armory start. We're gonna save. And we're gonna compile this map. And then just to make sure, this guy is trigger start 3. Okay, yeah. So what should happen now is we should have a whole separate like section. And there's like the only logic in there is door open, so there's not really any gameplay yet. But now there's gameplay, or now that it's there, I can put gameplay around it. If it's there, it might not even be there. So, and you can't even see that that room is there. Actually, it's back there. You can kind of see it, but I'll obscure it. I think this rendered full bright. I think that rendered full bright. No, it didn't. Oh, there's an exit code. Why did it let me render that? Okay, let's try that again. Compile. There we go. Yeah. So if you leave, or if you jump down here, you'll soft lock yourself. Uh-oh, this trigger doesn't work. We're stuck. And this does not have logic set up. This is going to be where the armory is. And this will probably be more like a tunnel, like before. I like the big sci-fi looking room. I still like it, but yeah, that's essentially what we have. So the next thing I have to do is visually optimize this room. But I think what I want to do next is create gameplay elements. I think there's enough visual flourishes here, and I need some meat. And so that's the next focus. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I have to fix the trigger. It's probably not linked or something. Yep. There we go. Let's see if it worked. There it is. So yeah, that's what we have so far. I think we just made a lot of progress. Um, so yeah, essentially this room is still having a lot of problems. So I have to figure that out. But essentially, you'll start here, and I think what I'm gonna have the player character do is, yeah, he has to find a way out. And the thing that he needs to find his way out is tied to the computer in the server room, which he doesn't have access to because his admin is dead or something. And so the first thing he's gonna have to do is he'll go in here, and he won't be able to go in here because it'll be locked. It'll be something with this computer he's gonna have to do, and this is probably gonna be locked behind another door or something too. He's gonna have to be able to interact with this in order to get in here, which means he's gonna have to find a way into the admin room. And so he's pretty much gonna have to explore the environment, and then he'll find like a key. And then once he gets in there, he'll be able to pretty much go into the admin closet, interact with the computer, beep boop, it'll unlock the server room. You go in here, there'll be another bit of important information here, but it'll be probably with some context upstairs, maybe some resources. This computer will have something on it. This will trigger something. I haven't figured out what yet. But I'm gonna have a secret interaction, I think, with the main computer, I think here, that will open up this armory back here. Well, it'll open up a keypad that you can use to get to the armory, but you're not actually gonna get the key to that until like a little bit later. So, or maybe I'll make it to where they can go in there, and when they go in there, maybe what I'll do is once you're in here, you can't actually get the things in the armory till you get the code. So, but this will be like a secret door that you have to figure out that's there. And then there's like this stuff up here. I'm gonna add add some more stuff up here. Oh, that guy's strong. I think he has to be a 5x multiplier. I'm gonna extend this hallway over here and add like a nook over there so you can get around this guy while he's patrolling. And then this room has our flashlight in it. We're gonna need our flashlight to crawl somewhere. I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm gonna get this health from this guy and hope he doesn't see me. Ah! Shit. I'll make these niggas fight. Not good. Woo! Wow. So there you go. That's a very interesting Quake 2 base combat loop for this game. You can choose to fight these guys, or you can just leave them there. If you stay out of that room long enough, I think they'll forget about you, but they'll stay in the position that they were in. And so when you go back into the room, they're not going to be in their default positions. They're going to be kind of where you left them. And if they're like faced against like the wall and you get lucky, you can keep around the room. But if you're not so lucky, then they're just going to start fighting and shooting again. But let's see what happens to the room. And I think I like the pace of the movement. It's definitely slower, but I think any slower than this is too slow. Where are they? See, now this is spooky because I can't see them at all. Did I grab my flashlight? I didn't grab my flashlight. Ah, shit. So good thing these guys aren't they're not DPS. So I can shit, them niggas was waiting for me for real. I don't think I can take this guy. Oh no. Cool. So now there's quiet and I can assess the room. I think I used all my resources. And so it would be important to find a weapon. Uh, and I need more nooks. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good stopping point. I'm gonna get on out of here. Y'all take care.